Hello, welcome everybody to my channel of AG Maths, the way of life. This is the channel where I am discussing different chapters on mathematics. My last video I have completed on binary operations, binary numbers and their operations, and different uh, concepts on it, along with some problems which were from the board level. Now, in this session, I am going to start with complex numbers. Now we have learned about numbers, different types of numbers we know. We know natural number, we know real numbers, we know positive number, negative number, rational numbers, then irrational numbers, we know surds, mixers, fractions, decimals, so many things we know. But we have not come across this number, which is called complex number. Now, why the complex number need arise? When we try to solve problems like x square plus 1 is equal to 0 and another problem of x square plus 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. These are quadratic equations, and in quadratic we'll get two values of the unknown variable. So what we get from the first one, we can write this as x square is equal to minus 1. This cannot be solved by putting any real numbers value of x. X cannot be 0, x cannot be 1, cannot be 2. So square of 1 will give me a positive 1. Square of minus 1 will give me a positive 1. So I will not get a minus 1. So when I write what is the value of x, I simply write it is something like this. Similarly, what happens here? If I apply Sridhar Acharya's formula, which says that in this type of quadratic, we can say it is minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac over 2a, where a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. When I put all these values here, what I get is minus 2 plus minus root over 4 minus 4 into 1 into 5 over 2 into 1. Or in other words, it is simplified as 4 minus 20 is 20 minus 4 minus 16, correct, by 2. And this minus 16 can be called as root over 16 and minus 1. I can write like this. This root is the power of 16 and this is also power of minus 1. Both powers are same, so when you multiply it becomes power of 16 into minus 1, which is like this. Now further simplification will give me 4 root over minus 1 by 2. Take 2 common from the numerator and you get minus 1 plus minus 2 root minus 1. This is the value. Here also we are getting a value root minus 1. Here also we have got a root minus 1. And we don't know what is the value of root minus 1. So the mathematicians all agreed to denote this root minus 1 as I. I is called the iota. Here also it is written as minus 1 plus minus 2 of I. Root over minus 1 is all places will be replaced by a small I, and that I means a root over minus 1. So that was the origin of getting the root minus 1. Now complex number, coming to complex number, we can say it is nothing but a combination of a real and an imaginary number. Complex is combination, a combination of real and imaginary number, right? Now what is that imaginary number? I, we have said, represents, I is representing the value of under root minus 1. It doesn't indicate imaginary number. It is simply the value for root minus 1. Now, when I call imaginary number, it is simply a real number with multiplied as I. So I into B. Normally we denote the complex number like this. If Z is my complex number, A is a real number, B is a real number, but when B is multiplied with a iota, this is not no more remains a real number and becomes an imaginary number. This whole part will be called imaginary number. So this is a real and this part we will call as the imaginary part. Now I am trying to explain you how A plus IB is called a single number, which is a complex number. It doesn't mean addition. This symbol of plus here is not meaning your addition. I write this with a red ink. Don't ever call this as addition. It is a combination. I mean to say combination of a real number with imaginary number. Now conventionally we know that this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis in our system of graph or coordinate or whatever you say. Now when these two axes are intersecting at the point O, this is called the origin. Now anything on the x-axis is called the real. So we call it as real. And this is called imaginary. Why this is called imaginary? I'll explain you by small diagram here. So this is a point P whose coordinates are x, y. So naturally, if PM is the perpendicular, then this distance is called x and this distance will be called as y. Right. Now suppose this OM line is of x unit and I am turning this line like this and bringing it here, M dash. Now OM line has been turned from its original position here by 90 degree and another 90 degree to the point M dash. So OM dash as per convention will be called as minus x. If this M value is called x unit, then this M dash value will be called minus x, and that is definitely in our graphical system it happens. Now we find that if x unit on the right side is turned by 90 plus 90 and another 90, we get minus x. Or we also say x is becoming minus x by 180 degree turning. So if it is multiplied one time, I write it is Ix for the 90 degree and further another 90 degrees another I. So it becomes I square x and I square will be what? Because if I is already denoted as minus 1, then I square is called minus 1 without root. So I can write it here as minus 1 time x or it is minus x. So looking here again, if one x is turned by 90 degree, it will become Ix and further it is turned by another 90 degree multiplied by another I. So 2 times multiplication of I will give me I square x and that is minus x. So this x becomes minus x, there is no doubt about it. Everybody agrees. So in between at this point, what we will call this, when it is getting turned by 90 degree, I will call this as I times x, or if this measurement is some y, then we will call it as y. So this value is I times of the normal. So this axis becomes imaginary multiplication of I with any value. Now see, if this value is not equal to x, it is more than x, y, then this is x and y. So this is what is the coordinate represented by complex number. Complex number is a combination of x plus iy, or I can say alternatively z is equal to x plus iy. It is a combination of a real value and an imaginary value of this, which gives me a point p, and that point p is represented by a complex number z. Here again, if I call this angle as theta, then what is the geometrical interpretation of this? It is again a right angle triangle. Triangle OPM is right angled, and angle OMP is 90 degree. Angle POM is theta. So what is this? If I call OP as R, this radius we call it as R, then I can write x is equal to R cos theta and y is equal to R sin theta. X is what? The base part. Cos theta is base by hypotenuse, so we can say R times of cos theta is x, or x by R is cos theta. Base by hypotenuse is cos theta and perpendicular by hypotenuse is sin theta. So perpendicular by hypotenuse will become sin theta. Now this is also represented as R cos theta and R sin theta. R sin theta will also get I multiplied, so it will become R cos theta and I sin theta, I R sin theta. Now what is the value of R? Now R can be said to be equal to root over x square plus y square, right? And we'll take the positive value of it because R is cannot be negative. So we write this as x square plus y square mod value. And this is nothing but the modulus. We call it as modulus of z, mod z. Modulus of z, which is here. The mod value is this. Now what is the amplitude? We have an amplitude which is called theta. Angle theta is amplitude. So we can write tan theta in this triangle will be Pm by OM, which is y over x. Hence theta will be tan inverse y over x. And this is nothing but the amplitude. Amplitude is defined here as the angle theta value, which can go from plus infinity to minus infinity. This is the value, right? Now the whole plane, this whole plane where we are drawing this complex number and deciding anything is called the Argand plane. Argand or Gaussian or complex, all these names you can attribute to this. These are all Argand plane or Gaussian plane or a complex plane, which has got mod value as the radius connecting from origin to the point P. Theta is the angle which this OP is making with the positive direction of x-axis, which is called the amplitude, and Argand plane, complex plane is this whole plane. Now what is the pure real number? Any number which is lying on the x-axis where theta becomes 0 will be called a pure real number. So when z is only equal to x and y part is 0, then we call it as a pure real number. If x is not present, only y values are present, iy, then it is called imaginary part, only imaginary, purely imaginary. Now x minus iy will appear here because now x plus y, minus x plus y will appear in this quadrant. and in this quadrant minus x of minus iy will appear in this quadrant. Both are negative. Here x is negative, y is positive. Here x is positive, y is negative. So x minus iy. So like this, as we have seen earlier in coordinate as well, x and y are both positive here. X is negative, y is positive. X negative, y positive in the third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant x is positive, y is negative. So I have given you broadly what is the complex number, how we represent it on a complex plane, and what is the meaning of z is equal to x plus iy. Now let me give you some more idea about what is I and how the I values are changing. Now the powers of I. What are the implications of the powers of I? I give you powers of I. I is your iota. When I write only I, it is simply I. If I am writing I square, it means it is root over minus 1 square, value is minus 1. Right? If I write I cube, it means I square into I, which is minus 1 into I, and value is minus I. I to the power 4 is nothing but I square whole square, which is minus 1 whole square is plus 1. Right? Now if n is a integer taken as positive integer, and then I say I to the power of 4n. If I write I is raised to the power of 4n, then the value will be I power 4 is plus 1, and 1 raised to the power n will give me 1. That is what is I power 4n. If I say it is I power of 4n plus 2, I can break it up as per the rule of thirds as I in power 4 and I power 2. So both product will give me n plus 4n plus 2, and this ultimately results into 1 into minus 1, because I power 4n is 1, so instead of that I write 1, and I square is called minus 1, so I write minus 1 and the value is minus 1. When I write I power 4n plus 1, I is raised to the power 4n plus 1, it can be written as I power 4n multiplied with I, so it is 1 into I, so the answer is only I. Now coming to I power 4n plus 3, if I write I power 4n plus 3, the value will be again I power 4n into I of cube. Power 4n is 1 and I cube we have found as minus I. So answer is minus I. Similarly, if n is negative, n is negative integer, then what happens? If n is negative, I write here I power minus 1 by I is equal to I square minus I square by I, which is minus of I, and I power minus 2 will be equal to 1 by I square, and it is equal to minus 1. Similarly, I power minus of 3 is I power minus 2 into I power minus 1 is equal to I power minus 2 is minus 1, and minus 1 is only minus I, so it is minus 1 multiplied to minus I is equal to plus I. Similarly, I power minus 4, if I write it is I power minus 2 into I power minus 2, which is equal to minus 2 is minus 1 and another minus 1 is a plus 1. So we see that if the values of I powers are changing in any way from 1 to infinity in the positive direction and 1 to infinity in the negative direction, the values are only limited to 4 values plus minus of either 1 will come or I will come. Either the value is plus 1 or minus 1 or plus I and minus I, as you see from the whole working. So this is what is the specialty about the powers of I. I feel you understand and it will be of your interest. If you like this video clip, please put on the click on the like icon, and also subscribe so that you get further intimation of new upcoming videos in this chain. Thank you very much for your valuable time. Once again, I request you to please click on the icon button.